So today I'm going to explain how to achieve perfection in sales by understanding psychology and Greek philosophy. And it's going to take me less than 5 minutes. This is all you need to know. So let's kind of go through it. I had a conversation with one of my clients yesterday who was communicating with a prospect, and I was like, you're doing everything in reverse. He's like, what do you mean? So I'm going to explain to you how our brains process information. So human beings survive primarily by taking in information. So the way we take in information and the way we survive, those things are very connected. And whenever you're receiving information or you're giving somebody else information, it is encoded in a way that appeals to people based on their biology. And our biology is designed to survive. So whenever we get any piece of information, somebody starts talking to us. We don't know who they are. We first have to identify if they're going to hurt us. And then when we identify they're not a threat, you have to identify if they're worth listening to. If someone is a celebrity, if someone is really good looking, if somebody has credibility in the space that we're trying to achieve. If I'm a billionaire, but I'm trying to win an MMA match, I'm listening to the MMA fighter. So we automatically pay more attention to what they have to say. So in the beginning of your messaging, you always have to talk about your credibility at least a little bit in a sales setting. So if you're like, hey, we've driven 40 million in sales in the last 6 months to our clients, and I'm going to break down exactly how the process works. Like, you can start with like a little bit of credibility, and you can do this in several ways. It's a lot of times it's the questions that you ask. A lot of times it's knowing industry specific terminology. A lot of times it's geography. It's referencing other people in the industry that you know or you've met with that they also know. It doesn't have to be like a case study. This is how much money I made. This is how much money I made for other people. That's kind of the low level. And then the second thing is, okay, someone has decided to give you their attention, but attention has different price tags attached to it. So your brain uses glycogen. Your brain uses 20% of all your calories. It's 3% of your body weight. So there are things that cost more money. So think about it on a 1 to 10 scale. So 1 is listening to your favorite song, and 10 is doing really hard algebra in your head. And so if you decide you want to listen to someone, you're really only at like a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Like, you put on the YouTube video in the background, right? You're listening to this while you're on the toilet or something. You're not really focused. So we work with people, like with our prospects, we're like, just give them, with our clients, we're like, just give the emotional, very simple version of what you do first. So you can say things like, typically when we work with clients, here are the major issues that we see, that we also see when we're looking at your website, when you're looking at your ad campaigns. And what we want to do is replace the things that you're doing wrong. And also, here's 3 things that you're doing really well. And we want to make these 3 things that you're doing really well better. You're not talking down to them. You're not being condescending, but you are explaining your process in the most simple 4th, 5th, 6th grade reading level possible, because what you're doing is you're buying more of their energy. You're buying more of their brain. So they need to be a 1 to 3 to listen to you. But if you want them to sign a contract for, let's say, over $100,000, you need to get them to a 10. And the 10 only comes by explaining the emotional process of what you do so clearly that you buy more and more of their attention. Attention is not created equal. And then they get to the point where they're ready to buy. And that's what we call the logical due diligence. So in evolutionary psychology, we have different names for it. The Greeks, who I think were the best at this, with Aristotle, was ethos, your credibility; pathos, the emotional journey, the release; and logos, the logical due diligence. If you can nail all 3 in the right order, in a way that speaks to your prospect, you will achieve sales perfection. What do I mean by that? Everyone who it's possible for you to close, you will close, and you will never worry about the ones that you didn't get, because you know that you did everything you could.